Hello students, welcome to the course Circuit Theory and Networks, and myself Milan Sasmal, Faculty of Electrical Engineering Department from JIS College of Engineering. So today we will discuss about the resonance circuit. Okay, already in our previous class we have discussed what will be the effect of the overall circuit based on the frequency, and whether the circuit will be inductive effect or whether the circuit will have the capacitive effect or whether the circuit will have the only the resistive effect that we have already seen. So next we will go for the quality factor and the half power or the frequency when we are getting actually this one. Okay. Okay. So for resonance one thing is clear, that when the resonance occurs, then the impedance is purely resistive, and the voltage and current they are in same phase, that we have already seen in our last classes, and the Z is the minimum condition for series RLC series resonance. Now both the inductor and capacitor voltage can be much more than q times of the source voltage. This is the most important thing. It means whatever voltage we have applied in the from by the source, that voltage was Vm, that we have already seen in our series RLC circuit. So Vm is the voltage that we have applied. Now the voltage across the inductor, voltage across any element, that will be nothing but a current flowing through the element multiplying with the impedance of that particular element. Okay, I into Z. So if we consider only the resistance, or the voltage across the resistance, if we can write it as a VR, so simply we can write current flowing through the series circuit. So current flowing through this always there I into the impedance or the resistance, that is R, I into R. That will be the values of voltage across the resistance. Similarly, what will be the values of voltage across the inductance? That is, if we consider that is VL, that will be obviously I multiplied with omega into L, I multiplied with omega into L. And similarly, what the values of I, because at the circuit is the series circuit, so the current is always flowing the same through the resistance, through the inductance, and through the capacitance. So from the previous one we can find that if this I, we can find out that I is equals to Vm by R at resonance condition. At resonance condition we know that whatever our voltage, that is Vm, that we have applied over here, and at the resonance condition at Z is equals to I at resonance, at this resonance condition at Z is equals to R. So at resonance condition our current value I, that will be our Vm divided by R, Vm by R. So we can write I in place of VL is equals to, that is Vm divided by R into omega into L. Omega into L. Omega means omega 0. It means we are considering the resonance condition. That's why we have considered that Z is equals to R. So the omega means we can write the omega 0 or omega R, that is the resonance frequency. So voltage across the inductor, that we can say VL, this is nothing but a multiplied with this term. It means the voltage which we have applied to the circuit Vm. If we go to the previous slide, that we can easily say, if I shift over there, so we can, okay, we have applied the voltage Vm, that is the maximum voltage over there. And similarly, now the voltage across the inductor, this is nothing but a voltage that we have applied as a source multiplied with a particular factor. So what is this factor? This factor is nothing but a omega into L divided by R, that is multiplying by this factor, and we are considering this omega L by R as a Q, so this Q, that is called as a quality factor. So we can say Q is equals to omega 0 into L divided by R. This is one formula for quality factor. So quality factor, the one definition of the quality factor is the how much factor the source voltage is into the inductor voltage is how much factor of the source voltage. That factor is nothing but omega L by R. This factor, if we multiply the source voltage with this factor, we are getting the actual voltage across the inductor. So that factor is called the quality factor for the inductor. Similarly, for the capacitor also, what will be the capacitor voltage Vc? That will be nothing but our I into 1 by j omega 1 by omega c, that is the 1 by omega c. So I means we know that is Vm by R, I means that is Vm by R and into 1 by omega c. So again over here we can see that capacitor voltage, the capacitor voltage, that is nothing but the source voltage that we have applied, that is multiplied with the factor, that is 1 by R into omega 0 into C. So this factor is called again the quality factor for the capacitor also. So we can write that quality factor is equals to one factor is omega 0 into L by R and another factor that is 1 by omega 0 CR. So we can write Q is equals to omega 0 L by R or Q is equals to 1 by omega 0 CR. Again we know the values of omega 0. We have already find out the values of omega 0, that is we know omega 0 is equals to 1 by root over of LC. We have already find out omega 0, that is the resonance frequency. If we put the value, again we will get the another equation for that. Okay. Now we can see if we find out the graph. We have already discussed this graph about based on the frequency, what will be the current response, and we can see if we change the frequency, this is the frequency, nothing but angular frequency omega. So based on this omega, the overall current in this direction, that is the current is increases, try to increases, and at some point the current going reach to maximum value, and after that it's again decreases, and when the current gets to its maximum value, then the resonance occurs. And so we know that the resonance occurs, we have written as a W0. So W0 is the resonance frequency. W0 is the resonance frequency. So till now we have discussed only this one, so only these graphs. Now we know at the normal, the current equation, that was I is equals to Vm divided by root over of R square plus omega L minus omega 1 by omega C whole square. So this is nothing, this is that we know that I is equals to V by Z, so V divided by Z means R plus J XL, that was actually R plus J into omega L minus 1 by omega C, that was in this form. And we know why this square terms comes here, square and root, and we know if our terms comes a plus jb or a plus ib. So if we write in the form of if we change the coordinate, or if we take the mod, then it will be the root over of, if we take the mod, then it will be the root over of a square plus b square, root over of a square plus b square. The same thing we have written for the calculation of this z all, for the calculation of this I. So this overall term, that is our Z. Okay. Now we have to find out what is the frequency for which the circuit draws the half power, that is called the half power frequency. So before going to the half power, we have to find out that what is the power that is drawn by the circuit. If we can find out the power drawn by the circuit at a resonance condition and what is the amount of power, then only we can find out the half of power and at which frequency the circuit will takes this half power, and that particular frequency will be called as a half power frequency. Let's see this calculation. Okay, so we are going for the calculation of the half power and the maximum power. So first let's find the maximum power. Okay, so before going to the maximum power, so the average power drawn by the RLC series circuit. So we can write P average. P average that we can write, that is actually average power for an AC circuit, that we know that is VRMS IRMS into cos phi. So VRMS means we can write that is Vm divided by root 2, Vm by root 2, IRMS that we can write Im divided by root 2 VRMS IRMS into of cos phi. So we can write simply P average is equals to Vm Im by cos phi, Vm Im cos of phi by 2. Okay, so the same thing that we can write that Vm Vm by 2 into I at resonance condition, that we know I, or in normal condition I we can write that is V by Z. So Vm divided by Z, Vm by Z, and cos phi that we know that is equals to R by Z. So we can write P average that is equals to Vm square, Vm square into R divided by twice of Z square, twice of Z square. Now we know that Vm square into R, Vm square into R by twice of Z square. What we know, the Z is equals to root over of R square plus omega L minus omega C whole square. So as there is a Z square is there, so the root will be cancelled, so it will be R square plus omega L minus of 1 divided by omega C whole square, and obviously within brace. So this is our average power, obviously P average. If this is our average power, so we can find out the power, we can find out the power which is depends upon the frequency. So if we consider at omega is equals to 0, at omega is equals to 0, we can find, if we put the omega is equals to 0, then this will be, this term omega is equals to 0, then this term will be infinite. So overall power, so P average that will be obviously also 0. And similarly, if we put that the omega is equals to infinite, if we put the omega is equals to infinite, then also will be is equals to 0. If omega is equals to infinite, so the denominator term that will be infinite, and overall term that will comes to 0. Now when the power will be the maximum, so at P max, and if we consider the maximum power P max, so power will be maximum if the denominator portion is getting minimum. So the denominator portion, there is a chance when the circuit is in resonance, so this terms can goes to the minimum. This denominator portion, overall denominator portion can goes to minimum when this omega L minus 1 by omega C, this term goes to 0. So if this term goes to 0, so the maximum power that will be only Vm square into R divided by twice of R square. So that will be Vm square into R, Vm square into R divided by twice R square. So this is the maximum power, and if we neglect this R and this square will be neglected, so that is Vm square by twice R, Vm square divided by twice R. That is the maximum power that can be delivered to the circuit, or this is the maximum power which is drawn by the circuit. Now the question is, what is the power for the half power frequency, at first this power is delivered to the circuit, or this power is drawn by the circuit when at resonance occurs. So we are getting this maximum power when this maximum power at omega 0 or at omega R, when the resonance occurs. At this resonance occurs, we are getting this maximum power when this resonance occurs. Now when the circuit draws the half power, so half power, so we can write the half power. So if we can consider the half power means the maximum power drawn by the circuit divided by 2. So that is half power means we can say that P max by 2. So half power, that is nothing but a P maximum divided by 2. So P maximum divided by 2. So this is our average power. This is our average power. So we can say P maximum, that is our P maximum by 2, that is our half power, is equals to, that can we write that this is our average power, this is our P average, this is our actually P average power, P average power. So the max power was Vm square by twice R. So if we consider Vm square by twice R, so we can write the same average power in the form that is or this P max in this form, we can write that is Vm square divided by twice R multiplied with R square divided by this Z square, Z square. So P max, now we know that is this Vm by Vm square by 2R, that is our P max. So we can say that is this P max by 2, that is equals to P max divided by 2, that is equals to, where we can write P max into R square by Z square. So P max cancel out from the both side, and we know that is the Z square. So we can say that is our Z square is equals to twice of R square. Now we know that is the Z square. Our Z square is equals to R square plus we know Z square is equals to R square plus omega L minus 1 divided by omega C whole square is equals to twice R square. Now if we take this R square in the right hand in this side, so it will be obviously changes to this R square, this R square will be in that side, so this R square will be subtracted, so it will be only R square, 2R square minus R square, that is R square. Now if we consider it, now if we find this, if we take a root, so root means that will be omega L minus of 1 divided by omega C, 1 divided minus of 1 by omega C is equals to, if we take the root, that will be obviously our plus minus R. Now if we simplifies it again, so omega C will be over here, again it will be omega square L into C minus of 1 is equals to our plus minus R. So again if we consider it, so omega square into L into C minus 1 is equals to our plus minus R omega into R into C. Now if we take this in one side, the equation comes omega square into LC, omega square into LC, then obviously minus plus minus in the left hand side, that will be minus plus of omega into R into C, then again minus 1 will be is equals to 0. So this is our equation, and if we compare this equation, and we know if the equation is like this, that is ax square plus bx plus c, and we know how to find out the root of this polynomial equation, how to find out this root by using the formula, the roots, if we consider the roots that we can find out by the formula using minus of b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by 2a, b square minus 4a into c divided by twice a. So similarly, if we can consider omega as a x, and so this is the coefficient, this is the coefficient for a, and this is the coefficient for b, and this is the coefficient for c minus 1, and if we find out the root for this, and we can find out the values of omega, and similarly we can find out the 2 omega as a omega 1 and another value as a omega 2, that we can find out the root of this equation. Okay, so what is that value? Just try to solve this equation. Solve it. So if we solve the equation, we will find out the values or the roots of this equation as a omega 1 and omega 2, and the value is this one, this minus of r by 12 plus of root over r by 12 whole square plus 1 by LC, and omega 2 as a plus of r by 12. So the change is only over here. So here is minus of r by 12 and here is plus r by 12. These are the only changes, and remaining part all are the same. So these are the roots. These are the roots for the equation. Now what is that roots? It means for this omega 1 and for this omega 2, for these two particular frequency, the circuit will draws the half amount of the power. It means whatever the maximum amount power it draws, its half amount of power. Now its half amount of power as omega 1 and omega 2 frequency. So these two frequencies can be called as a half power frequency. So these two frequencies are called as a half power frequencies. So let's consider this omega 1 and omega 2. This at these 2 point we are getting the half power, and for the corresponding frequency, if we draw the line, and the line segregates, the line intersect the graph in this particular point, and if we take the x-axis line and it cuts over here, and if we calculate it from the graph, it shows that the current which will be actually the 0.707 times of its actual current, or similarly we can say this current is nothing but a RMS value of the current, I RMS value of the current, I RMS value of the current, that is 0.707 means Im by root 2, divided by root 2 amount of time. Now by which by this we can calculate the half power frequency. Now whenever we are getting this half power frequency, so the circuit draws the half power once at the before this resonance at omega 1 frequency, and another one time that is after this resonance, that is omega 2 frequency. So this omega 1, this is the frequency which is less than omega 0, or which is less than the resonance frequency, and omega 2 which is also the half power frequency which is greater than this resonance frequency. Okay, and the difference between these two half power frequency, that is called the bandwidth. So this is called the bandwidth. So bandwidth B, that is nothing but the difference of these two half power frequency. So we can calculate the bandwidth, that is omega 2 minus omega 1, or sometimes it's written as a mod of B is equals to omega 1 minus omega 2. Okay, that's how we can find out the bandwidth. Okay, now come to the summary points. It's written over there. Already we have seen that corresponding to 0.707 times of its maximum current, where we are getting the half power frequency at that particular current. So that's why this 0.707 times of maximum current, that is called as a band frequency, or the cutoff frequency, or the half power frequency that we have seen. Similarly, the range of frequencies between the twos, between the two, it means between the two half power frequency, that is called the bandwidth, that already we have calculated. B is equals to the omega 2 minus omega 1, and since the resonance circuits it adjusted to select a band of frequency, that it is called the selectivity curve. So as there are the different bands we can find, so we can find the different selectivity. It means if we can change this bandwidth, we can change the selectivity of the circuit. Now for any particular circuit, we can change this bandwidth, that is omega 2 minus omega 1, that can be changed by using by changing the values of the resistance, or by changing the ratio of L by C, How we can do this? Similarly, we can do this. We can find out that quality factor. We have already find out that quality factor. That quality factor we have already calculated. This is nothing but a. We have seen this quality factor as a we have seen this quality factor Q, that is omega 0 into L by R, or 1 by divided by omega 0 into C by R, that we have already seen. And if we put the values of omega 0, if we put the values of omega 0, it means omega 0 is equals to 1 by root over of LC. We will find the values of Q, that is omega 0 divided by bandwidth. Also there is the another definition of this quality factor. So the one definition of this quality factor, that is nothing but it's how much factor of the overall voltages is getting across the inductor or across the capacitor. This is the one definition. Similarly, the another definition of the quality factor that we know, the quality factor is nothing but is the ratio of omega 0 by omega 0 to bandwidth. This is also the definition of quality factor. Now if we change this bandwidth, then quality factor it will be also changed. It will be also changed. Now as this bandwidth omega 2 and omega 1, omega 2 bandwidth, that is omega 2 minus of omega 1, if this bandwidth is shifted, then the graph, the pattern of the graph which was in this time, suppose it may be shifted in this way, or it may be shifted in this way also, that we can see later. Okay, in this graph that we can see here, the quality factor that was previously we are getting the in the form or in the ratio of omega 0 into L by R. And similarly, one another form of bandwidth or quality factor, that we can say that quality factor is equals to omega 0 divided by B. So this B is nothing but the bandwidth. So if we change the values of the resistance, then our this pattern of this graph, it's also changes. And similarly, if we change the L by R ratio, L by C ratio, then also our bandwidth changes. This bandwidth changes, and as a result the selectivity is also changes. Actually what we have written for this bandwidth, this bandwidth is nothing but omega 1 minus omega 2, or omega 2 minus omega 1, that we have written that B is equals to omega 2 minus omega 1, omega 2 minus omega 1. And if we look for the values of omega 2 and omega 1 very carefully, if we look it, and we will find this value, that omega 2 and omega 1, here is this one is positive and this one is negative, and if we subtract this one, this omega 2 to omega 1, so this overall portion, this portion will be cancelled out, because this one the plus of this portion, and here is also plus of this portion. So if we consider omega 2 minus omega 1, so this portion will be cancelled out, there will be only R by 2L minus R by 2L, so it will be twice L. Actually the omega 1 minus omega 2, it changed to R by twice L, and again plus R by twice L. So actually it will be twice L will be over here, and in upside R plus R, that will be twice R. So it will be actually R by L, that will be the bandwidth will be R by L, and we know that is the quality factor, that was omega 0 by B, omega 0 by R by L. So the bandwidth is depends upon this ratio of this R by L, Now if we change this resistance, then also our bandwidth will be changes, and similarly if the bandwidth changes, then also selectivity will be changes. And similarly if we keep constant the R, and if we change the ratio of L and C, if we change it, then also our this bandwidth will be changes. Okay. For this graph, it's very clear that if we change this resistance, and if we change this values of inductance, then how the effect will be there on the bandwidth and on the selectivity. And already we have seen that the bandwidth is nothing but a bandwidth that we have already seen omega 2 minus omega 1, and by the formula that we have seen is equals to R divided by L, that we have seen. Now for the normal circuit, we have seen that the current frequency versus current response that looks like this, and if we keep this for a series RLC circuit, if we keep this L and C as a constant, and if we increase these values of R, then then the graph is gradually increases. It means the maximum point is gradually increases if we decrease the values of this resistance. So it means, look this curve very carefully. If we increase the values of keeping L and C as a constant, keeping L and C as a constant, and if we increase the values of R, then what happened? This B will be also increased. If we increase the resistance, our B will also increase. So for this graph, for this first graph, where the bandwidth, where the maximum value is this one, for this curve the maximum value is this one, and corresponding to this maximum value, this is our IM for this R3 resistance, this is our IM3, and the corresponding RMS value will be over there, and the corresponding bandwidth, if we can consider the corresponding bandwidth, that is omega 2 and omega 1, that will be over here. And similarly, if we again increase, or if we again decrease the resistance, then also our bandwidth will decrease. So if we decrease the resistance value, then we are getting the second graph. The second graph is already given in such a way that for this particular graph the maximum value is over there, so maximum current is over there, so the RMS value, so the RMS value means 0.707 time value will be over here, and the corresponding graph, it means omega 2, that will be over here, corresponding omega value. So we can say, if we continuously change the resistance for the RLC series circuit, so the circuit provides the different curve, or the different magnitude of the current at the resonance condition. And for each and every graph, it clearly shows that if we increase the values of the resistance, it means here the R3 is greater than R2 and R2 is greater than R1. If we increase the value of the resistance, then our bandwidth increases. And from the equation, it also clearly says that if we increase the values of the resistance, our bandwidth will also increase. And similarly, for the next one, for the lower graph, it also clearly says that if we keep our R as a constant, and if we change the ratio of L by C, if we increase the ratio of L by C, if we increase this ratio L by C, it means L is increases. If we increase, so if L is increases, it means the bandwidth should be decreases. So look over here carefully, that L3, that is having the L3 by C3, this portion, this is the greater one. So for this one, that L3 by C3, the inside graph, the most inside graph, where the bandwidth is very less, because as for all these three graphs, the maximum values of the current, they are the same for the same maximum current. So our RMS current, if this is our maximum value of the current for all these three graphs, so our RMS value will also be same. If the RMS value will also be the same, so for this corresponding RMS value, we can find out the bandwidth. So for the previous case, for the L3 by C3, for the L3 by C3 means the most inside graph, the bandwidth is this one, only this amount. This is the bandwidth for L3 by C3, where the L3 has the maximum value. And if we consider the second graph, for the second graph, the bandwidth changes to this amount to this amount. And for the third one, that will be more than that. So immediately this side to this side, that is more than that in this particular time, that is more than that. So if we increase the values of L, if we increase the values of L, it means the ratio of L by C. It means whenever we are increasing this L, obviously our bandwidth should decrease. So L increase means our bandwidth should decrease. And this graph shows that our L3, this is the maximum, this is the maximum greater than, that's why our bandwidth is minimum. And if the bandwidth is minimum, so obviously the selectivity will be the maximum, the selectivity will be the higher. Okay, so that's how we can change the response of the circuit, or these are the characteristics of the RLC series circuit. It means by how we can change the bandwidth, and as well as we can change the selectivity of the circuit. Okay, so as per today's lesson, we have seen how what is the maximum power, what is the maximum power that can be drawn by the circuit. Similarly, what is the amount of half power, and what will be the frequency for that half power. It means half power frequency that we have calculated, and from that half power frequency we have seen what will be our characteristics and what will be the quality factor, and based on that what will be the selectivity, and based on the change parameter of based on the value of this R, L and C, how the bandwidth is changes, and based on that bandwidth how the selectivity changes, that also we have seen. Okay.